Danny, thanks so much for giving me a little time today. And I have some questions for you, but first I wanted you to kind of outline your beauty bio. I know you have a extensive background, and speaking of background, love the modern covers behind you. Thank you so much for that. I'd love to hear just about a little bit about your start, where you are now, how you came up. Why don't you give that?
Well, it's so ironic. I want to say it might be this week, but this week officially makes my 26-year mark that I got into the barbershop. I graduated high school June of 1998, and I started working in a barbershop September of 1998. I'm still behind my chair, and I still enjoy it. So I've been behind my chair about 26 years. I've been in the beauty industry for about 20 plus, I've been licensed for 20 plus years. I've been an educator for about 12, 13 years. I've been able to travel the world globally, just teaching something that I never thought a pair of clippers could get me. So I'm truly the definition of passion turns into a paycheck because I'm literally living a dream every single day, enjoying what I do and literally building relationships all over the world. Like it's insane.
And you're working, as you said, still taking clients. You're educating like crazy. We see you on platforms everywhere. And you also have your own shop.
Yes, ma'am. I have three shops actually. We opened up our first location December 3rd of 2001. We now have three locations. We have about 33 barbers in our locations. We used to have 33 now, with everything being a little different, our staff isn't the same, but we still have all three shops open. We're about to celebrate our 23rd year in December.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So I watched this really great video of you educating to a big room, maybe at one of the trade shows, where you talked about when you were first starting out and how you were trying to kind of carve out your own brand early on by getting your own landline in this busy shop, which, it was such a good idea to already start identifying yourself and pulling yourself out a little bit. It's such a crowded space. How do you suggest beauty professionals stand out today?
I've seen it and I've heard it a million times, and I say it a lot of times in my classes. Just try to be that purple cow, like stop trying to fit in with everyone, stop trying to look like everyone, stop trying to mimic everyone, stop trying to be like. If there's one thing I'm different, and I do what I like, and it works for me. And when you want to wear something, wear it because you like it. When you want to do something, do it because you generally like it. I generally love to cut hair. I generally love to be busy. I generally love to make money. I learned from being around sometimes a group of people, the establishment wasn't being run, unfortunately, the way I wanted my clients to be served. So I'm from the landline and beeper era. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have text messages. We didn't have booking apps. You had to speak to me physically on a landline. So it got to a point where I was answering the phone and my clients were like, who picked up before you? They were rude. So I didn't want that to diminish what I was doing because I'm putting my foot forward every day trying to be a professional. And some guy that's working next to me is upset that I'm a little busier than him and he's picking up the phone and being fairly rude to my clients or not just giving them the customer service they deserve. So I walked up to the owner of the shop and I said, hey, what will it cost you to have a landline in your shop? And he looked at me like, you want what? I said, I want my own landline. Like, what will it cost? Like, just add a phone line to it and I'll pay you right now. And it was $44. I'll never forget that. And I gave him 44 bucks that day. Here, sign me up. Let me get my own line. I still have that phone number. That phone number went with that shop to my first location in 2001 that we outgrew in 16 months. And we moved to another location. If you call it right now, 908-659-9795, it works. Someone will answer it. Now that's longevity.
I appreciate that. And I also, I like what you said about you asked him and it was $44. Sometimes it just comes down to asking,
Yes.
right? Right.
Clothes never get fed.
Oh, that's beautiful. Exactly. So I want to ask you, because you are hearing from so many people, what are some of the challenges you're hearing that beauty pros are talking about today? And do you have some suggestions for how to overcome them?
One of the biggest ones, and there's a bunch of videos I've been posting lately, and I've got a ton more coming, is price points, where I don't want to use the word entitled, but COVID changed a lot. And it made people realize we are valuable. And I'm sorry, we were essential. And that's why I created this space, because I had clients begging for me for a haircut. And yes, I was charging $100 at that time because there was an inconvenience for me. You're now coming into my home, into where I live, into my space. I don't want to work either because I'm not supposed to. I'm letting you, God forbid, something happens in my home where my kids live. We can get sick because you want a haircut. You don't need a haircut. You want a haircut. So if you need it, and when people need things, they're willing to pay for it. But now reality kicked back in. Shops are open again. Salons are open again. I don't want you coming to my home. I want you to come to my barbershop. And I don't feel it's right to still continue to charge you 100. And I had a client, literally, I swear to you, and my videos that I posted recently, he's in the chair. During COVID, he was still paying me every Friday. I wouldn't even cut his hair. I said, why are you sending me this money? He said, Danny, you're not working. I am. And I feel bad that you guys aren't making money. Barbers don't get compensated for their time off. I appreciate you being my barber for 20 years. I'm going to pay you every Friday. And he still did for 3 months straight. So when I first opened up my chair here, he was the first client I called.
So those pricing, knowing where to set your prices, knowing how to set your prices.
If you're too busy, you're too cheap. But if you're not busy, then something is wrong here. You know, other than trying to charge a price point that Instagram is telling you you're supposed to do, how about reevaluating the neighborhood you live in? How about reevaluating what people's income is in your neighborhood and can they afford you? And you don't want to be that unaffordable barber, just like you don't want to be the most expensive house on the block. When you're the most expensive house on the block, when you try to sell it, you're not going to sell it for the amount you think it's worth. And that's the problem. Barbers and stylists think they're worth something more than what they really are. We're still in a service department. We're still in a relationship business. I'm still servicing people I went to high school with. I'm not going to charge you $150, $200 because I'm a celebrity barber. No, I'm a busy barber. And I have a price point that makes work for me and them, and it's not untasteful. And I'm busy every single day. I'd rather be busy at a lower price point than be sitting around at a higher price point just to say I'm doing it. Because if you go on these guys' booking apps that are charging all this money, they have a lot of open slots. Go on mine. I don't.
So I like that advice, just being sensitive to really where you live, how the people around you live, knowing what the market will bear. You have to look into that. So your social handle, which we all know as because we see you everywhere, Success Addict. How do you define success?
Success is when when you're able to do what you want, when you want, whenever you want. I believe in wealth, not rich. And I'm blessed to say, if I want something, I can get it. When I need something, I can get it. When my kids need something, they can have it. I don't have to scramble and stress and, oh my God, no, I have it. I have good credit. I have a savings account. I know how to balance my finances. And that's another problem we have in this industry where we make a lot of money, but we don't know how to handle it. Barbers don't know how to handle their finance. They make it today, blow it tonight, and chase it tomorrow. Like, they don't own anything. Everything's under their mother's name or their girlfriend's name. Like, no, I own this home. I bought this home when I was 23 years old. I've had credit. I've learned how to do that. And that's a whole different educational seminar we can do. But getting into that, you're charging these price points, but what are you doing with it? I was in a seminar hosting it, and there was a young lady that was an educator, and she was literally force feeding you're supposed to charge 100. You need to charge 100. And I handed the microphone to a 24-year-old kid, and he's like, how do I do that? She said, just do it. And then 20 minutes later, she said that she had to pay for a family's funeral, and she was not in great shape financially. Like, if you're charging this much, you should be able to have some type of credit or something that you can fall back on, because having a lovely pillow helps you sleep better.
Yeah, and I like your distinction between wealth and rich, because wealth can mean you have a little time, you have a little space, you have less stress.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, versus what's in your bank account.
Go to dinner. You can take a day off. Like, yeah. It's not, I have to do this. No, I do it because I still want to, not because I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. And the wealth of feeling secure and not, I mean, that is invaluable. So my last question, and thank you so much for giving me this time, is what gets you up and going every day?
Like I said, my family. Like I bought my mom a house. She lives 3 blocks away from me, you know? And literally, like I'm a car guy. I've always liked cars. And my mom's like, Danny, another one, just like sneakers. And yesterday I picked her up for breakfast and I had just picked up a new car. And I'm very humble when it comes to stuff. I'm not one to brag, but I'm entitled to enjoy myself, you know? And I picked her up and like the smile on her face, and she's like, "Oh my God!" And like her being so happy for me makes me happy, you know. And the fact of, like I said, I bought my mom a home. Like I'm a barber. Like I lost my dad when I was a kid, so it made me grow up real fast. And she's my mom. And how can I not do that for my mom? You know, I have a 20-year-old son. He's going to turn 21 in less than 3 weeks. My daughter's going to be 19 in less than a month. They're both going to college now, so I got to pay for that. And I like to enjoy myself, you know. Like I said, I like nice things. I like to travel. I like to go out to eat. I like to do things. I got a tattoo appointment right after this. I'm getting another tattoo. I'm actually getting consistency on my hand, so
Oh, I
that's
like that.
so I
Uh,
have passion in this hand, and I'm
you
gonna
got
get.
passion and consistency. Well, you need one, you definitely need consistency to apply your passion, to keep them going. So that makes sense.
They put it together. That's why they're gonna be here.
I
Consistency.
know. Well, Danny, I'm so grateful again for your time and for all you've done to, educate the industry, uplift the industry. It's really important that we have people like you, game changers, people that we can, you're like a touchstone that we can go back to. And I'm going to let you go, but I'm just so grateful. Thank you again.
You see, I have the 1111 on me today, so it's gonna be a good day.
It is going to be a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.